Do you guys see? Hey guys, do you see why I can't do U sub on number 1?
There's a lot of crap there.
There's a lot of crap there for sure. Just to show you, okay, you don't have to write this down or whatever, but just to show you, if I let U equal the bottom, D would be dx, so that's not helpful. It's like if I let U equal the top, all this nonsense, du, it wouldn't even match up, you know? Plus 12x plus 12, it wouldn't work. So you try a couple things, U sub doesn't work. And then you're going to remember that, oh, that's right, if I have a polynomial divided by polynomial, you guys know what polynomials are? So they're just things with x's and exponents, okay? So we'll have like x to the fourth, x to the third, x squared. Okay, if you have a polynomial over a polynomial, and the top degree is bigger than the bottom, we are going to use, are you ready for this? Dun, da, 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 long division. Who remembers long division?
Yes.
Yeah, actually? Yeah? Okay, we're going to see. Okay, you're right. We're going to see who remembers long division, okay? I'm going to be really impressed. Yeah. Right?
Oh, you add X.
Long division, where you go, how many times does that go to that? Blah, 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 right? Try it. You try it. I'm going to see who actually, if you think you got this, tell me.
For a fact that I did not.
Then just wait for all the smart kids to try it, and then we'll go over it. Cooper, do you go home and cry after calculus? Like,
I go home and say thank goodness that I don't have to feel stupid because I go home and just surrounded by
you feel, oh, so you're the smartest person in your family? So one might say you're the relative max at home, but you're not the absolute max. The absolute man? I don't think so, Cooper. I think you get a lot of good grades. Who remembers? Well, let's go. You got the first time, right?
I told you guys.
Remember it? I think you're trying to do synthetic division. Or maybe you learned a really weird way of long division. Synthetic is so much easier, but did you do long division?
Where would you put
The cubed? Oh, yeah, I'll show you. Alright, so does anybody know x Yeah, actually? Yeah. Did you get like x squared plus something in a remainder? Alright guys, we go like this. He's like that, dude. He's so full of himself. What? Okay. You guys, it's like regular long division. You go like, how many times does x go into x to the third? But I don't really like saying it like that because then it gets confusing. People are like, I don't know, 3 times. Now, what we're actually saying is, what do you multiply x by to get x to the third?
X squared.
X squared. Remember?
That makes sense. Yeah.
X times x squared is x to the third. And then do you remember we have to multiply here, but we got to distribute it to both of them, just like with long division, right? So we go x to the third plus 2x squared. And then the next step is super important. What's the next step in long division? Subtract. So on this, I call it like change the sign, right? Because we're going to subtract both of those. That crosses out, and I get 6 minus 2. Because, like in regular long division, like we take that and we multiply it, but you're multiplying by both. Yeah? Okay, so let's see, 6x squared minus 2x squared is 4x squared. And then I bring down the 12x. And then I do it all over again.
Wait, don't you bring down the 12 and the 10?
Nope, one at a time, girl, one at a time. one at a time. Don't get excited. That's okay. Haley, seriously?
Are you kidding
Calm
me?
down right now. All right. X times what is 4x squared? 4x. Okay. Boom. 4x squared. Boom. 8x. Right? Change your signs. Cancel. 4x plus 10. Right? It's actually kind of exciting. And then last step, right? Yeah, x. What makes 4x plus 4? Boom, 4x. The stuff that sticks in your guys' brains, I'm impressed. Like, that's good. I really thought you were going to be like, long division, never seen it. Okay, minus. And I have a remainder of 2. Now, back in kindergarten, when you first learned long division with numbers, you'd be like, remainder 2. And I was like, so cute, right? But now, we don't do that, right? What do we do with our remainder? The remainder over the divisor. Remember that? Cool. So, we just did long division, so what the heck? Well, so we turned this into that, okay? On that one, you could do synthetic, but
Wait, so what was the point of all that? Why does that matter?
exactly. Why does that matter? Because now I can write it like this in my integral, because that divided to this. And guess what? When you have an integral of one separate thing, you can just do one thing at a time. So I just broke it up to 4 like really easy integral questions. Yeah? You sound right? Yeah. Takes some people a little longer than others. That's okay, as long as we all see it eventually. Okay. Right? Because that's so cool. Like, what's the integral of x squared? Let's go. What's the integral of 4x? 4x squared over 2, so like 2x squared. Yeah, let's go. Yes, sir. What's the integral of 4? And then u sub. Now look, when you get better at this, you're going to realize that u sub on this doesn't really make a difference. Like, I know what it is, but let's just, for the sake of argument, real quick, do a u sub question. All right? So let's take 2 over x plus 2. What would u equal? X plus 2. What's du? Dx. Okay, the 2 comes out, right? And then it's 1 over u du. Yeah? And what's the integral of 1 over u?
11.
Nice. So these long division problems with the remainders, they always end up coming out to just ln questions. Cool, right? So then I can come back up here, and I can just make this be 2 ln of x plus 2, right? Plus c, and I'm done. Easy peasy. I don't know, for real though, what do you guys think? It's not bad?
It looks a lot scarier than it is.
That is facts. It looks a lot scarier than it is. That is straight. You're spitting facts right now. Because, yeah, it's like, oh my gosh, long division. It's like, oh my gosh, u sub. But do you guys see that? Okay. If this is just a regular x, you don't, if it's like x plus 2, you don't even really have to do a u sub because it's 2 and then it's ln. The only thing you have to be careful of is that it was like a 5x or something. All right, you ready for another one? Another one. I love writing. Okay. Do you guys want to try to long division that on your own? You can do it. I believe in you.
No.
this quiet before, it's freaking me out. Is everything fine? I'm not being observed. I'm like not being observed. Save the quiet for when I reschedule my afternoon. I'm just kidding. Are you seriously, Alex? I will kill you. Are you? Ethan, is he? Alex!
I'm doing it.
You are. Oh my God.
I'm doing it.
Alex! I probably shouldn't say I will kill you when I'm recording. That could be used against me in a court of law. Okay. Alex shows up dead. They're like, someone threatened him. Okay. 2x times what is 6x squared? 3x. Let's go. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. What happened?
We were in psychology, and like towards the end of class, Alex was like, "You're my 13th reason," and then he didn't show up for the next 2 classes.
Alex, you can't mess with people like that.
Oh my God.
That is so funny. That's funny. That's funny. Okay. Yeah, big time.
Oh, he had a kissing his girlfriend, and then she turned into a bitch.
Oh yeah, she's not my ex. I invited her to the concert.
Yeah, did she come?
Yeah, her other ex is also.
Oh.
my gosh.
Okay, okay. All right, and then it's plus 4, right, guys? 8x minus 12. Change signs. Boom, boom.
Dude, I did that.
Yeah? The whole thing. Yeah? Jimmy, let's go. You guys, this is going 1,000 times better than I thought it would. All right. I don't know. Sometimes you surprise me with how smart you are. I mean, you're super smart. I guess, like, I just thought you might not remember long division. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Okay. All right. So this is going to go to 3x squared over 2, right? Okay. 4x. And then this is u sub, right? Okay. Let's see. I do it over here. Okay. If u is 2x minus 3, du is 2 dx, 2 1/2. So it's 1/2, 1 over u du, right? Did I do that too fast? Are you guys cool? You good with the 1/2? Okay, good. All right. You're like, no way. And I'm like, are you good? And then that's 1/2 ln of u. Did you actually? Yes. About to go nuts. 1/2 ln 2x minus 3 plus c. Did we get it? Let's go. I'm very excited about long division.
I love this unit. Long division is fun.
All right, cool. I thought this would be stressful. Not stressful. So fun. All right. All right.
Okay, I'm actually gonna do this homework.
Okay, great. What?
Right? You like your understanding?
I'm like, huh? No, it was Miss Ingrid. I don't know how to say her last name really. Yeah, Ingrid. Yeah, no, it's Miss Androma something.
I know who it is.
Yeah. Probably someone was like vaping in the bathroom and she had to go take care of it. I don't really know. All right. Guys, is number 3 a long division question? I mean, kind of, but not really. Because look, there's only a single term on the bottom. So actually you split up the fraction, right? So because I'm dividing by a monomial instead of a polynomial, Callie, you good, bro?
No, Callie called Jackson on board.
Whoa.
I did it! I did it! It was incorrectly.
Is he? Okay.
He's not.
No.
He likes to set me up.
Oh.
Because he hates me.
Okay. We can definitely talk about that later. I want to hear all about it. But you guys, I mean, you don't really have to do long division because long division is strictly if you have like 2 terms, right? I mean, if you wanted to be like that and divide it, like fine. But it's easier to just go, I'm going to divide each term by x, right? So this first one is going to be, when I simplify it, what? 3x? And the next one is just going to be 8. And then the last one is going to be 2 over x dx. So can we take the integral of each of those? Easy money, right? 3x squared over 2 plus 8x minus, what's the integral of that one going to be? What do I do with the 2? Yeah, very good. Pull it out front. Plus c. So even easier, so it's not even necessarily long division, it's division, but remember when you have a single term on the bottom, you just split it up. Okay? Okay. Let's look at, are we good with that, guys? Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I got you. Kayla, you're looking with eyebrows that look like this. Well, are you fine?
I'm great.
Good. I'm looking for confused faces. All right. Okay. Let's look at number 4. Guys, long division? No, because the bottom's bigger than the top. No. U sub, good possibility it could be U sub. Except, let's try it. I don't know. Yeah, because if U is x squared plus 3x minus 4, du would be 2x plus 3 dx, which, like, I can't turn into that, unfortunately. Right? If it was something, like, if that was 2x plus 18, and I could multiply by 2, that would be U sub. But this isn't U sub. It's not working out, okay? So, also, no. So you kind of just go through your stuff to try to figure out what this is. It's not long division, it's not U sub. This is actually something totally different called decomposition by partial fractions. But it's only on the BC test. It's not on the AB test. So sad. Yeah, but it's super interesting. Can I show you anyways? Okay, how about this? What time is it? Oh, we got lots of time. If I don't make you write it down, can I show you how it works? Is that cool? Yeah? Check this out, you guys. It's so cool. All right. Have you guys ever done something called partial fraction decomposition? Holy crap, you've done partial fraction decomposition? When? Actually? Woo! Did Suzuki teach you that?
No, Suzuki taught 10.
Oh, you took 10, 10, 10, 50 last year? That's so weird. They actually taught you partial fraction decomposition, Tyler? That's so exciting. Okay, check it out. You guys, this factors, right? See how that factors? To x plus 4, x minus 1. And so what you do is you want to split that up into 2 separate fractions. And here's how you do it. If I have x plus 9 and I factor this to x plus 4, x minus 1, okay? You can actually separate this out to 2 separate fractions. It's like basically like getting a common denominator but going backwards. Does that make sense? So if I had these two, I could get a common denominator by multiplying 1 by x minus 1, multiplying the other by x plus 4, and I'd go backwards. So this is how I go. Like normally we're used to doing it this way. So this is how you do it. You say, okay, there's some number up there and some number up here, and we have to find out what A and B are. Okay? This is where it gets fun. Go like this. You go, if that's x minus 1 to get a common denominator, right? That's x plus 4 to get a common denominator. You see how all the denominators are the same now, yeah? Okay, so I have x plus 9. I don't have to write this because they're all equal. Is ax minus a, and then bx plus 4. Because I just distributed the a and b, right? A and b are constants. Okay? You see it? Okay, cool. So now we go like this, and we go, okay, the x terms all together need to equal 1x. Makes sense, right? So in order for this to work, the x terms have to equal 1x. Those are the x terms. So a plus b has to equal 1. Makes sense, right? Because the x terms have to equal the x terms. And then it's like the constants have to equal 9. That pen doesn't work. 1, 20. Oh! That was so close. Gosh dang it. Okay, the constants have to equal the constant, and the constants are the ones without the x. Negative a plus 4b. Is that not a system of equations that we could solve, right? You guys see how to solve that? Substitution elimination, do we remember this? Yeah, and you go like this, and you go like, that cancels out, 5b is 10, b is 2. So, if I go back to my original decomposition thing I'm doing here, boom, 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 b is 2. And then like if I were to plug it in up here, a ends up being, I think, like negative 1. And then you could do the integral of those. And what kind of integrals are they going to be? Yeah, and then what are they going to both turn into? Because there's an x on the bottom, ln. Not cool? But it's cool, right? That's a BC topic. I specifically looked and I made sure it was on the AB curriculum. So when I show up on your test, but isn't it so interesting? Partial fractions. So, Tyler, that's why you guys learn that in 10, 10, 10, 50. Or is for calculus, specifically to solve that integral. That's exactly why you learn it. That's it. Right? Because you can't solve that integral unless you know how to go through that process. That's freaking cool though, huh? Oh, you guys, math is so fun, but we'll skip that, whatever. Okay, now it gets really crazy. Here we go. Not really. The one other integral topic that we got to cover besides long division is absolute value. When we're taking the integral of an absolute value. Yeah, it's kind of a little bit of a mess, but we know what absolute value is, right? Okay, so technically it means the distance away something is from 0, but what it really does is it just makes everything positive, right? It makes everything positive, okay? But we don't have a method of integrating an absolute value. We just don't. So we have some steps that we're going to do, okay? And then I'm going to show you guys a shortcut, so don't worry about it, but check it out. The first thing you do is f of x is the inside part, the part inside the absolute value. You look at that. This is a really basic one, right? And you find out where it equals 0. Well, for this, obviously, it equals 0 at 0, right? Because it just says x equals 0. And that is where you're going to split up the integral, okay? So instead of going negative 2 to 2, I'm going to go negative 2 to 0 and 0 to 2. Make sense? Because, so that's the part where it like hits the axis. So that's the part where it's going to go from like either above to below or below to above or something like that. And then what we do is we drop the absolute value signs. So that's just x and that's just x. And at the very end, we take the absolute value of our entire answer right there. So you can get rid of the absolute values in the middle by putting it around the whole integral, but you got to split it up first. Okay? Do the steps make sense? And then it's just a pain in the butt. So find out where to split it. So you set the inside to 0. That's where you split it. So here, I'm going to split it at 0. Yes, that's exactly right. So you split it, whatever makes the inside equal to 0. So yeah, so I go negative 2 to 0, 0 to 2. Okay? Oh, because we don't have a formula for absolute value of x. We only have a formula for x. And so what we're going to do is we're going to actually take the integral of x, which is this. But we're trying to find absolute value of x, which is this. Okay? So what we do is, just to be a little bit tricky, we do the integral of x, but then we make them both positive, and then that gives me absolute value. See? Tricky, right? Totally. So that's why we separate it out. One will be positive, one will be negative. But then by taking the absolute value of your final integral, they both turn into positives. I don't even know, man. Whoever came up with this is a genius. It wasn't me, but it's fine. seriously, like, man, like, and like they were doing this stuff in like, well, I don't want to be stupid, but like, when was the Roman Empire? Like, the zeros? Yes, they freaking were. Yes, they were.
I believe you feel like no, they had like yeah. Why did we go straight to history?
All right, fine. They knew geometry. Okay, so not the Romans. Let's see. Hey, hold on. Yeah. Okay, fine, not the Roman Empire, but the 1600s. It's practically the same thing. Hey, homie, history is not my best subject. All right. Anyways, okay. If I integrate this, and I integrate this, and then I add them together. So what I'm going to find is I'm going to find a negative part, and I'm going to find a positive part, you know? But then I'm making both positive because of absolute value and add them together. Yeah? Cool. Okay, so let's do these like separate kind of. This 0 squared over 2 is 0. Negative 2 squared is 4 over 2 is 2. So that part equals negative 2. This 2 squared over 2 is 2. 0 over 2 is 0. So if I was only integrating the line x, it would be a negative 2 and a positive 2 that would cancel each other out, right? But I'm doing absolute value of x, so it folded that part up. So it basically is like that plus that. So what would the integral be? 4. That's cool, right? We can verify this on our calculator. Do you guys have calculators? I want to do a couple calculator things. So we got to get used to where all the buttons are, my friends, you know? It does. That's what I got to show you. What's that? Absolutely. That's why I'm going to show you everything about it. Not only can you, you have to. You will not pass the AP test without a graphing calculator because there are integrals that are impossible to do by hand that you have to do on hand. How are there integrals impossible?
Yeah, can you
I'll
show
show
me
you.
an example?
Yeah, I will. Pass was back. No, see, this is actually math, and I know stuff about that. Gosh dang it.
You said you took a math history class.
Literally, I don't remember.
It's okay, Tyler.
You're good. Yeah, let's go. All right, anybody else need? Allie, you need one? So cool. Okay, anything else? We good? Good. Okay. On the calculator, you go like this from the very beginning. Okay, we start with Math 9, right? Math 9 gives me the little integral and the little boxes, so we're going to fill in. And then, you guys, I want you to go, once you get the integral and there's a parenthesis there, the way you write absolute value is you go math, and you arrow over to num. Num stands for numbskulls. Stop being numbskulls and let's do it. No, I'm just kidding. Number. And then there's the abs, which means you have good abs. Let's go. Pablo, did you find it? You know where absolute value is? Pablo? Math 9 gives you your integral. And then math, arrow over to number, and absolute value is the first thing. And you 100% need to know where the absolute value button is for the test. Absolutely.
For our test or the AP test?
For AP test. Our test is probably different.
No problem.
Like it was nothing, right? It's just like, boom, 4. So here's the way it goes. Multiple choice, no calculator, multiple choice calculator. Free response, no calculator, free response calculator. Right? So half of it you'll have a calculator for, and everything else you got to do by hand, which is why I got to teach you both ways, right? Okay. Are you guys ready for a shortcut? All right. As long as it's only absolute value of x, which most of them will be, or like absolute value of x plus 4, or absolute value of x minus 4. As long as it's something like that, you can solve it by graphing and not even do any integrals at all. For sure. Basically, because it goes like this. Yep. Because absolute value is the area under the curve, right? And this asks me to find the area from -2 to 2. And it's like, hey, that's a triangle. Do we know how to find the area of a triangle?
Yeah.
1/2 base times height, right? 1/2 base height. So that's 2. And then do we know how to find the area of that triangle? Or you could count the boxes, but you know. 1/2 base times height, that's also 2. Oh my goodness, what's the area of that? 4. And you are definitely allowed to do that instead of doing the whole integral stuff. You can definitely do that instead. Yeah. Yes, that is a fabulous question. I love it. Your graphing calculator won't really do it, but instead of a dx, it's a dy. And we're actually going to do that in our next chapter. So it's like if I was doing, don't write this down, y squared minus 4 dy. It graphs it on its side. And you try to find the area to the y-axis. And you do a dy instead of a dx. Yes. So you set it up in y, but you then type it in x, yeah. I mean, yeah. It's so fun, though. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And then just add the areas together. That's it. Guess 2 and 2 is 4, which is what we got doing it this crazy long way, right? Okay, so check this out. Here we go. All right. Long way. Okay, guys? The long way. When does the inside equal 0? -3. So let's just set it up. We won't actually do it. But here's how you would do it the long way. You would go -5 to -3. And then you'd go -3 to 1. And we drop the absolute values. So it's just x plus 3 on each of those.
Wait. Sorry.
Okay?
So we went to 0 last time because it's like x.
Because that's where x crossed. X is 0, yep. So on this one, x plus 3, we're going to use -3 because that's where it splits it up. Okay. Right? So I go from, so instead of like -5 to 1, I'm going to go -5 to -3 and -3 to 1. SET, set. Set equal to 0 and solve it. So yeah, you just see where the inside part's going to equal 0 and it's at -3. That's where I split it up. Then you would basically do each of those separately to get an answer, right? And then at the end, you would just absolute value your answers before you add them together, okay? And we could do that. It's going to be all fractioning and gross, but we could do that, right? Okay, let's look at the shortcut. We love a good shortcut. So again, when it's an absolute value with just like a single x, you definitely want to do this. Do you guys remember, now we know what the absolute value of x looks like. What does the absolute value of x plus 3 look like?
It'd be 3 up.
Left, right, up, down, which one? left. Because up is outside, right? Yeah, it's inside. So inside is left, right. So it's going to be to the left. 1, 2, 3. To the left. Okay, right? And then I'm going to draw it. I'm going to get that stuck in your head. Oh, to the right, to the right. Now it's flip, now it's flip. Now I'm walking back. Okay, at -3, right? Okay, and then, we're finding the area from -5 to 1. So I'm going to go from -5 to 1, and I have 2 triangles, right? What's the area of that cute little baby triangle? It's 2, because it has a square and 2 half squares. Or it's 1/2 base times height. So that little triangle is 2, okay? What is the area of this triangle?
8.
Yeah, 1/2 4 times 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. See? You can count squares, or you can do geometry, or whatever. So what is the integral from -5 to 1? 2 plus 8, 10. And had I done it this way, I would have gotten the exact same thing, okay? I would actually have gotten -2 for this, +8 for that. I would have absolute valued them and gotten 10. All right? So cool. Do you want to put that in your calculator? Make sure you know how to put that in and see if you get 10. Let's try. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yep, for sure. Okay, so math 9, -5 to 1. Remember what your absolute value is. Math, number, absolute value.
It's math.
Yeah, I got 10.
I mean, if you are, it's okay.
And then it's like 10.2.
Yeah. Because remember, there isn't actually, your calculator does not know how to do integrals. There's a couple that do, that can do definite integrals. This one is a freaking beast. The TI Inspire CAS. You're not allowed to use that on the ACT because that's like it's called computer algebra solver. It's too powerful. It's like a little computer. It'll do integrals. I don't know how, but it'll do it. Exactly. You guys, minors may not touch it.
Yo, give me that.
No, sir.
Yes, I'm 18.
I don't know if you're ready.
Yeah.
You have to pass 3 challenges now.
How much? Because these ones are expensive.
It's only slightly more, but it's not worth it because you can't use it on the ACT. I'm pretty sure you can't use it on the AP test, so like why, you know?
So I might buy it.
No, I didn't. Someone left it behind. I have a little collection of things that people left behind that, you know.
I was literally like,
No, I don't even really know how to use it. I don't even know where the buttons are. Anyways, oh yeah, did you guys type that in and did you get 10? But you got like 10.0000 something?
yes.
Because what your calculator is doing, you know what it's actually doing? It's making a bunch of little rectangles and adding them up. Right?
Instead of just counting,
Doing a
so
Riemann
stupid.
sum.
I mean, it's so stupid. It's doing a Riemann sum. I'm like, pretty sure that's how they program it. But you can't do infinite rectangles, so it's gonna be off by a little bit, you know? It's doing the best it can, like all of us. Cooper, what's the matter? Coops, you good? Are you good, buddy? Okay. Hey, stop bullying Cooper, everybody. Come on. Literally, only I'm allowed to do that. You can't do this one by graphing, and I'm going to show you why. But I still want to show you what the graph looks like. Yeah, it's basically because it has an x squared. Now, without the absolute values, do you guys know what x squared minus 4 looks like?
Yes.
What is it? Parabola down 4. Okay, cool. It looks like this. Okay?
That is really narrow.
Well, because my scale is really small. No, it crosses through 2 and -2. Okay? Now, do you know how to make an absolute value out of a graph? Like if I type that in like Desmos or my graphing calculator? Yeah, it flops the bottom up. It's actually really cool. It goes like this, and then it goes like that. and then it goes like this. Yeah, it's really cool. So why can't I do this one by graphing? Well, because it's not made up of straight lines. It's made up of curvy stuff, and that's what I need integrals for, you know? It's not like I could figure out, like... It's not like I could figure out that, and like I could figure out that, you know? I can with integrals, not with geometry, though. So, here, I'll show you better on here. I got time. I'll show you. Okay, so x squared minus 4 looks like that, okay? When I put an absolute value on it, look what it does. Isn't that cute? Just like flips it up, you know? So, remember we're doing like 0 to 3. So if I were to just do x squared minus 4, I would get a little area right here, and I get a little area right here. But when I put the absolute value on it, it flips those areas up, and it gives me a positive area and a positive area. So if I just do the original one and make them both positive, like because we're flipping it up, you know? Kind of make sense? But I can't use a graph, but it's like kind of cool to know what it looks like, but I can't really do that. So I actually have to do this the long way. Bummer, bummer. Here we go. Set the inside equal to 0. If I were to solve that, where does x squared minus 4 equal 0? To a negative 2, because it's not in the bound. So, yeah, it's plus or minus 2, but I got to break it up from 0 to 3. So which number am I going to choose to break that up? 2, because negative 2 is like out of the way. And you can like, no. Well, I mean, look, if I wanted to really be a pain in your butt, I'd go like negative 5 to 5, because you'd have to do 1 over here and then split it and then split it again. You know? That would be mean. So, I mean, yes, you might have to use both. If, like, let's say I went negative 3 to 3, I'd have to use both. But I was like, just more integrals, right? So, I'm going to split up 0 to 3 at 2. Okay? And this one, I'll do x squared minus 4 dx. And this one, I'll do x squared minus 4. And then at the end, I'll just absolute value them and add them together. But again, it's because we don't know how to do the integral of an absolute value. It doesn't have like a rule or something. It just doesn't have one. So, we got to do this by hand. That's a 0, by the way. That looks like a 1. 0. Okay. Are we ready? Aye, Captain. We should do that. Oh, I see all these teachers on like TikTok or whatever. I'm on like teacher TikTok, whatever. And they're like, cute callbacks for your middle school class, like to get them to be ready, you know? Like if you say like 1, 2, 3, and then they say eyes on me, like we should do some. Are you ready, kids? Aye, aye, Captain.
What? The only time I watched it was in my parents' bathroom on their bathroom TV, so my mom didn't know.
Oh, you weren't allowed to?
I wasn't allowed to. Yeah, not even my dad.
What? Because it was like annoying?
No, it's because he's like, oh, this show is okay.
Yeah, I told my kids first, like, you're not watching this, and then we just ended up watching it. It's fun. Like, it's.
Yeah, I couldn't even watch this, so what's the point?
I could kind of see that, but yeah, I get it. Okay. 8 over 3 minus 8. 0 minus 0. Okay. X to the third over 3. 4x. 3, 2. Yeah. Okay. When I do 3, 27 over 3 is 9 minus 12. And then it's 8 over 3 minus 8. Guys, here's the deal. You know how before, if I would have like different fractions, I would like combine them? I can't really do that now, you know? I can't do that cool little trick because I'm taking the absolute value of this separate from the absolute value of that. So I can't take like that 8/3 and subtract that 8/3. I'm not going to be able to do that. So I actually have to do fractions. What a bummer, am I right? 8/3 minus 8. Okay, hold on. 8 minus 24, negative 16 thirds. Hey, that wasn't so bad. Okay, that's negative 3. That is negative 16 thirds. minus a negative is plus, and 16/3 minus 9/3 is 7/3? Yeah, sure, Mitchell, whatever. It is, I promise. Okay, but for the absolute value, what numbers are we going to add? Positive and positive, so 23/3. Make sense?
And it was about to turn to a really good number.
Right, exactly, but it's not. Exactly. It was going to be all pretty, but nope. Exactly. But no, a negative, so yeah. Okay, now, type this in your calculator because I do want to show you one more thing. I show you millions of tips and tricks. Tips and tricks. Okay. Math 9. That's going to be my autobiography name. Tips and tricks of calculus. Just kidding. X squared. I should write a book. Everybody would want to write.
That would be a really great book.
So good. My life as a calculus teacher. Just kidding. I'd call it my life with teenagers.
Wait, how do we make it a fraction again?
Okay, now, usually you push math 1. Try it on this. Is it letting you do it?
No.
Gosh, dang it. Because my calculator is dumb. And it's rounding it to this. And then like 7, 2, 6, 1. Right? So you know what I'm going to do to turn it into a fraction? I'm going to type out, because I'm not dumb, and I know that it meant to do 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, like a lot. So I'm going to type out like a bunch of them. Yeah, that's probably good. So do 7 points. And just put like a crap ton of 6s. And then push math.
How much?
Just a crap ton. Whoa, tips and tricks. So you see how this is like
We 7.
7?
I did a lot.
Yeah, I did nothing at the
Oh no, you're good. No, I did it. Okay. So yeah, see how that's like that.
Yeah.
But it's because it's rounded off, so I just put it out and then just go fraction. Let's go. Hey, that's cool, right? You know what the other thing that you could do is, I did this on a different one too. What is 0.666? What is that? 2/3. 2/3. You can just go 7 plus 2/3 and turn that into a fraction. You can do that too. 9, you know? So just type a ton of. Okay, good. Okay, stop. What? Oh, yeah, now do after that.
No, I put in.
How many 6s did you put? You can't put 100 6s.
You know, I put a lot of sixes,
No,
but
but
I
I
messed up and put the fraction
You're
in the
wrong.
middle of the 6s, so it just made it this entire period.
Dude. Okay. Kind of. Maybe less. Well, we're getting close to the end anyway. All right. Okay, so you guys kind of understand some calculator stuff here. All right, you guys, I'm going to show you something that's going to make you angry, okay? Yeah, are you ready to get angry? Right? You live in the state. I'm ready to be angry. What's the square root of x squared? Nope. Kind of. The square root of x squared is not x. Your whole life you've been like, sort of. The square root of x squared is the absolute value of x.
Yeah, you told us this before, remember?
I talked to you about that? Well, like, when I'm teaching middle school or something, which I'm hopefully never going to do, am I going to tell them, actually, kids, it's absolute value of x? No, your teacher just go like, it's x, it's fine. Because they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to tell you. It's just like, yeah. So, like, sometimes math teachers lie a little bit, or they just, like, omit some information because they don't really want to deal with it. But basically, okay, so, like, do you guys remember doing problems like this? You know, you remember doing stuff like that? Yeah, when you just go, okay, well, it's 3xy squared. Like, it's actually not, it's that.
And y.
No, because y to the fourth to y squared is okay.
Oh, okay.
But, because it's still squared, right? But like if this were a 6 and this were a 3, you know?
So if the end result is
Odd.
Yeah, you got to put absolute values around it. But it's like, if I'm just trying to teach an Algebra 1 class how to do that, am I really going to talk about absolute values? Heck, yeah, oh yeah, for sure. So,
really smart.
okay, so take, give me any positive number. Let's take like 3, right?
600.
Bro. 3 squared is 9, and the square root of 9 is 3. So I'm cool, right?
420.
But what if I take, not doing 420, Pablo.
Give me
Okay.
suggestions.
What if I do -3? What's -3 squared? Because you got to do order of operations. 9, and what's the square root of 9? 3. So it took -3 to 3. So it is kind of positive or negative, but it's easier to say it's the absolute value, right?
Oh, yeah, I see that.
Make sense? Okay. So we love that. That's a little weird math thing I don't get to talk about very much, but it's kind of exciting. So, all right, now, when you see this, just this inside part, what does that make you want to do? Does it really? It doesn't make me want to die. You know what it makes me want to do? It makes me want to factor. That doesn't make you want to factor?
Yeah. Wait,
Whenever you guys see that crap, it does, doesn't it? Do you think it is a perfect square trinomial? Well, X Games, bro. X Games. Bro, X Games. How do you factor?
I literally just guess half the time and then I hope it's right.
Bro,
Genuinely, I don't know.
X Games. All right, yeah, it's -5, -5, right? It's just a way to teach people that don't know how to factor to like keep your stuff in order and go like, what multiplies to make the top? What adds to make the bottom? Like it's just an organization method. It's not a big deal. Okay? So it's x minus 5, x minus 5. What's another way of saying that? Squared. Okay, now, ooh. Oh, this is where it gets crazy. What's the square root of x minus 5 squared? The absolute value of x minus 5. Right, Tyler? Because if we have the square root of something squared, we just talked about it right here, the square root of a perfect square is the absolute value of whatever was inside. Yeah?
And then you find out the middle. Wait.
Then you find out the middle and you split it up and you do all that. Or you remember that Ms. Mitchell said that you can do the shortcut as long as it's just a single x, right? And like, I'm down to do that shortcut because I'm tired. You know what I'm saying? Are you guys tired? Because I had to go support my students at a concert last night.
What it was.
And then I had to go write a freaking calculus lesson after that. It was like time management, though. It was my own fault because I went home after school and took a nap. So that's like my bad. Anyways, okay.
That's exactly like.
That's why I got the mentality of a teenager, I feel like. I'm like, if I nap now, then,
I'll be
okay.
able to stay up later.
And do my, yeah, for sure. This moves it to the right 5, yeah? To the right 5? To the right, to the right, to the right, to the right, to the, Hit it, Fergie. Oh, yeah. Look at that. That's beautiful.
I'll leave that.
Absolutely not. No, you probably can. You know what you do? Ooh, you know what you do? You probably can't get a ruler, but you got to show ID to get in, usually. So you should use your driver's license. Ruler. Let's go. No. Okay, anyway. I don't know. It depends on the proctor. If they're crazy, then.
My favorite one.
What?
That's how the kids in California do it.
Yeah, that's true, actually. They're like, okay, everybody, let's meet the night before. And, okay. Cooper, like you've ever even been high. Oh, yeah.
love how that one's on.
Yeah, it's a little teeny tiny baby one. So it's 1/2 base height. So that's 1/2, right? A little baby one. Little babies are so cute. 1/2 times 4, so that's 2. So the answer is 2.5 or 5/2, yeah. Right? Okay? So we can do, so really you can do the shortcut as long as it's just a regular X, and that's like way better for you. All right, a last couple things. Oh, holy guacamole, we only have 5 minutes. That's all right. These are easy. This is why what? I know, Tyler, but I get so excited. Let's say A1 is 9 and A2 is 4. And I found that picture that went A to B, and I forgot to change that A to B. So, I mean, we're basically done. Okay. So if I said like A to B instead of 0 to 8, I messed up. But let's say it's like A to B. You guys, if I just asked you, what's the integral from A to B, what's the answer? What's the integral from here to here? 5. Because that's 9 and that's 4, but it's on the bottom, right? But if I said, what's the integral of the absolute value? It would be 13, right? All right, the last thing I'm going to show you really quick because it might like show up and it literally makes me want to cry. Okay, so I start checking things. This is not U sub. It won't work. Why is it not U sub? Because you get 2x and there's no x up there. It's not U sub. It's not long division. It's not an absolute value, right? So what do? Oh, it's not a partial fraction like I showed you over there because I can't factor that, so it's not a partial fraction. What is it? This one literally makes me want to cry. Okay. I'm just going to show it to you, and like if it sticks in your brain, fine. If it doesn't, fine. Okay? There was something we learned last year, and the derivative of that something was 1 over 1 plus x squared. Oh. It was in one little teeny tiny chapter because it doesn't show up very much. Dang, let's go! Inverse tangent. Yeah, impressive. How'd you guys remember that, frick? You know?
Because you said it was small.
It's like something that like we just don't use. Yeah, sine and cosine, the inverses have the square root in them. The tangent doesn't. But like, if you're in the middle of doing a ton of different U sub problems, long division problems, and that comes up, are you going to remember its inverse tangent?
Not really.
I don't know. Maybe. So you know what this is? This is just inverse tan x. That's literally it. And so like if you see something like this, it's U sub with inverse tangent. And like U, du, blah, 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 you don't have to put any numbers in it, so it ends up just being inverse tan of x minus 2. Crazy, right? I know, so that one's tough, and if it's like a choice between keeping that in your brain or keeping something more important in your brain, keep the more important thing, because that's like very tiny.
What's the difference from inverse tan and arctan?
Nothing, they're the same thing, yeah. Okay? And sadly, we're not going to get to this, but that's okay. Big long homework day. Okay, this weekend, step 1, catch up on sleep. Step 2, catch up on homework. Got it? Sleep first, Pablo. Sleep, then homework.
And then all-nighter.
No, Pablo, it breaks down your immune system. It will make you get sick.
You're right.
The virus is coming for you, the virus.
Well, I already got it.
Did you ever do number 4 on the belt?
Wow, maybe you fell asleep, Chuck. No, it's the one I did on the notes on the board, and I said, don't write this down. We just put that it was a BC topic. Let's go.
Anything that you did on Wednesday, did you happen to record that?
Oh yeah, I did. Ooh, I gotta tell you guys about that. Yeah, I did.
And
I
then
did.
I picked the ones that you handed out.
Oh yeah, I gotta do that too. What? The last topic? Or the other one? Oh, partial fraction decomposition. Partial fraction decomposition. It's cool. And then the last one, I'll show you later. If you didn't go to the Wednesday, if you didn't get one on Wednesday in the after school thing, grab one on your way out, por favor.
What am I grabbing?
That yellow thing over there.
Oh, okay.
Callie, I want a hat like that with my name on it.
I'll tell my Candace then. Look, she made this fanny pack too.
Holy crap, who makes all this stuff?
My sweet mother.
Your mom makes that?
Yeah, she gets them made.
Would it look good on me?
Probably. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Tyler has
Is
one
it
too.
fit? What do you think?
It fits perfectly. It goes. I like it.
Well, your mom almost wants stuff like
Mitch. Okay. Mitch. Whatever you want to do.
All right, Zia, I'll pay her for it. Tyler, you don't want to put in like an extra week of studying and take the BC test? When did you take Math 3 if you took 1050 last year? In freaking ninth grade, or did you skip it? Yeah, how?
I started in 4th grade, I went to CAS and tried to
Nah.
like speed on your math.
Okay. Wait, it's a different school or it's a different program?
It's a different program. It's just
Okay.
not elementary school, but it's like one class. It's Center for Accelerated Studies.
Oh, I really like that, dude.
Yeah, it's actually a really nice program for it.
That's really good. Hey, how are you? Oh, shoot, I'm still recording. I recorded the lesson today. Huh?
Oh, do you record it?